What's up, YouTube? I'm just checking in to give you my progress. Part of my air ride project. Um, I basically had to take the forks apart and put them back together. And taking them apart, I removed the lower half of the forks, had them powder coated, gloss black. So part of the reason I had to powder coat them in the first place. Um, when I originally put my 26 on and I put these cowbells on, I didn't have anything stable. The whole system was set up unstable. I had these rings to hold the cowbell down, but I had, as you can see, I got wobble from that. It didn't cause any mechanical issues, but these cowbells ended up scraping the actual fork up in the front. So I had to get these powder coated anyway. But I took the whole fork apart, me and my girl, and we worked on that one day. And while I had it apart, I had to figure out why I had that issue. Okay, so I'm gonna take this apart. These rings I have here. They were from my tree when I did my new tree, my new triple tree. Um, I had these rings that were in the box, and they're basically serve as spacers. So I only had about 8 of them, and I needed like 10 or 12 of them for each one. So I called the company, and I was able to get these. This didn't turn out to be the problem, but since I took it all apart, I figured out what the problem was. When when you decide you want to do something custom like this and you're using factory parts, you either have to have something custom that will fit with the factory parts or be able to modify the factory part to fit the custom work. So, in saying that, while I'm taking these rings off, up under this cowbell, and you'll see in a second, there is a rubber ring. It's thicker than these rubber rings I'm pulling off now. It's a factory part, and it sits when you actually take your fork apart. When you just take the actual covers off and everything, it sits right on top of a washer. It's a factory washer. Well, the factory washer was strong enough and everything. It fit all of that stuff. The problem was this cowbell did not fit over that washer. So because it didn't fit over the washer, we removed it from the equation and just used the rubber washer, thinking that that was going to be fine. Because up under the metal washer, there is a ring, and this ring, you adjust it. You can change the height of where your cowbells sit. They could be lower and they could be higher. Okay, that's the last ring. I pull this up. Here's that rubber ring. This is a factory part. Factory part is called a dampener. So you pull that up, and you have this ring. This ring right here is basically used to adjust the height of the cowbells on the factory setup. So if you lower your bike, you lower these. You raise your bike, you raise these, or whatever the case may be, vice versa. You'll have to get into that to see. But these rings are what my dampener was sitting on top of an actual metal washer. So once we removed the metal washer, which this would not fit over, this was put on, then this cowbell was put back on, and then those rings. There was no stability in that. You see how small this ring is right here. You see how big the hole is. They just don't match up. So it was causing for this cowbell to have a little bit of play. The play was causing the fork to be scratched. So when I go and hit the brakes, it might scratch just a little bit, but it caused it to be silver right here, basically around here. So since I had everything apart, I was doing it. I'm doing it custom. I got to take the time out, buy whatever parts, do whatever custom work I needed to do. What I ended up doing, I bought 2 washers offline for each one of my forks. They are the perfect diameter to go inside this hole. They go inside with no problems. So I can sit them down. And look, I put a rubber ring on that so there's no metal to metal. Okay, so then I put my dampener on there. Now the dampener sits and it locks. It's not gonna move around. You can't just, like before, do it one more time so you can see it. The dampener was on there. And you got play. You got all this play. So when you put the cowbell on, it's just doing this. And wherever it finds, it can grab onto, it will grab onto. So I take the dampener off. I put my little ring back on here. Put the dampener back on. And I put the cowbell cover over. Actually, in order to do that, I had to pull it up because this is funny. But before I even do that, let me just say this. Instead of these rings, I decided to go with something clean and smooth. That would be Morton's cowbell adapters. Now, these things ain't fucking cheap. And they not the greatest when they just come to you unpainted. But the whole product together makes a cleaner look. So I went on ahead. I paid the $150 fucking dollars for these things. And you don't need to put too much torque on this. Okay, so now go to put it on. Put the dampener up. Push it down. Dampener comes down. It's going to land right on the little lip like it's supposed to. And everything is sliding down right into place. Much cleaner look than those doggone rings. Way cleaner. I mean, top notch looking. So this was holding me up. This held me up a week and a half, 2 weeks back? Mm-hmm. This piece right here held me up through the holidays, or I would have been done with my air ride front and back by now. All I had to do basically now is put these forks back on, put my tire on, lower the front of the bike, put my shocks on the back, lower the back of the bike, and start it up. That's it. So with that, I have another one that's finished. Both of them are finished now. This is the decorative cap. Goes right on there. And that's that. You won't even see any of this. So that's me touching bases with you guys, letting you know where I'm at. In a few short days, I'll do another video letting you see the final product of the front and back air ride.